Fossil fuel versus renewable energy, a debate that has been going on for quite some time now, and a debate that has intensified here at the Mining Indaba. Governments and investors are, however, leaning towards backing the cleaner energy projects. But what does that mean for our mining sector? Earlier today, I spoke to Mikhail Nikomarov, CEO of Bushveld Energy, about the investment landscape for the South African miners. Thank you for joining me. I want to know, we are on day 3 at the Mining Indaba, which is practically coming to a close today. From your view, what is the investment landscape look like in the mining sector?
Well, thank you for having me. I think the investment sector it's quite attractive. There's quite a bit of boom. I think there's a lot more energy, especially when I think about the few Indabas prior to the pandemic. I think people are excited to get back out there, and we're definitely got a situation now where there's a commodity boom, which I think also supports that excitement.
On the back of that commodity boom, just transitioning is the buzzword here. Where do you fit into that? Is there any projects that you are looking and investing in, and vice versa? Is there any investors that's turning their eye towards you?
Yeah, well, so we're involved in the vanadium space as Bushveld Minerals, and we mine 3.5% of the world's vanadium here in South Africa, and we're growing that. We're adding about 1,000 tons of production this year. That means more employment. That means more procurement in local communities. So I think and vanadium is used in steel, but it's also used in batteries as part of this energy transition towards electricity. So this is an example of how I think it's benefiting, not just those who use it, but also those who work and live in those areas. And we're in places like Brits, Malahleni, so not the most wealthy parts of South Africa.
Yesterday, President Ramaphosa was making it clear that the mines in Africa and South Africa need to be part of the beneficiation process. What is Bushveld Minerals doing to be part of that?
Yeah, well, I think actually we're probably one of the leaders, maybe something that's not talked about, in terms of not just doing the upstream work, which is finding the stuff in the ground, taking it out of the ground, but really adding value, beneficiating the mineral further. So I actually run Bushveld Energy, which I started in 2015 with Bushveld Minerals, and what we're trying to do is beneficiate it in the downstream application of batteries, energy storage. We know that the power system is changing. That's part of the energy transition, where you need more electricity. Electricity is very hard to store. That's why we need batteries, and we're building electrolyte production in East London. That's the most expensive component in vanadium redox flow batteries. We've invested in battery companies actually overseas, so a South African company investing in international firms. And we've also got a project development team that looks for not to just deploy solar, but solar and storage with these batteries. So all of that, we're doing much more. So that vanadium molecule, it's not just exported, it actually has a lot of value added in South Africa, and either used here or exported with a lot more value.
And from my understanding is Bushveld Minerals, Bushveld Energy is currently listed on a London Stock Exchange, not yet at JSE. First, I think two part of the question is, what is the barriers? Is it JSE, do they need to reduce the red tape? If you're planning on listing with JSE, is there a timeline?
Well, I think in terms of the barriers, keep in mind the history of Bushveld Minerals, it started as an exploration company. And I think the risk appetite for exploration is not really there in South Africa. It is on some other exchanges, and that's why the company started in London. I think here, once you're in production and you've got steady production, then it's the right time. So our focus right now is we're growing production. We want to get to that steady rate that's going to make it very attractive to South African investors who have, again, a different risk profile than in some other places, and then that would be the right time. But until we've grown and we have that stable operations at high levels, I think we want to focus on that. We want to focus on operations first, and then look at the JSE listing. But it is definitely of interest to us. All of our employees are here, so it's kind of weird. We're sometimes called a foreign company, but everyone is here. Everyone, all the 800 people we employ are in SA.
And I think to conclude this conversation, where to from here? What's next for Bushveld Minerals, Bushveld Energy?
Right. So on the production side, we're growing. We want to get to about 5,400 tons of vanadium. Keep in mind that when we started our first operations in Vametco, we were about half that. So this is an example of the kind of growth that we're providing. So we hope to get there by the end of this year in terms of run rate, and we'll hopefully achieve those targets in 2023. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is growing what we're doing on the energy side. That's really where we see this massive, massive demand, both globally and in South Africa. So finishing our electrolyte plant, doing our mini grid project, but also then looking for more mini grids with other mines. We can do it for ourselves, but we can also do it for other mines in South Africa to reduce their costs of electricity, increase their renewable energy, and reduce their carbon footprint, and probably save them money and create some more employment for the local communities.
And that was Mikhail Nikomarov, CEO of Bushveld Energy, giving us a picture of the future of the mining sector here in South Africa.